for regular play that it's top 5. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, Insurgents has to be obviously be taken into account.
Yeah,
but it's still like
into account Insurgents, but like regular play, absolutely. Unless it's like a league that has broken tower rules. But if you're playing in a league with broken tower rules, then
yeah.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I agree. Terra Sarolage on this team is incredible.
And also has to be said, just like top 5, insane. Like
I think
getting a round 5 Shifu and having Mega Eevee guard jump and having like Aurora's just as like a bulky pivot is really, really good.
Yeah. I think I have 3 things that come to mind. Like I have 3 criticisms that I have for this team, I think. The first is that I feel like the low tiers. Terra Rotom Fan is good. I'm fine with that. I like Weezing. I like Frogadier. I'm just not really sure what the Maractus is doing here, and I'm really not sure how that functions as a primary steal. But
it has to be said.
I feel like at this point in the draft, I don't know what you drop it for.
Yeah, it has to be said. Like generally, the bulk is bad, and it doesn't really have the speed to make up for it. So, but it's still like for once, this is a team that would love webs. I feel.
I could see it. Like it is mons that are a little bit faster than usual for like a webs abuser, or at least the typical like viewpoint of one. But I feel like it works here because, like, just as an example, that would mean Garchomp either wouldn't have to run Scale Shot or wouldn't have to run Choice Scarf.
Yeah.
In certain matchups. And honestly, I think the top 5 of this is strong enough. Not having a primary steal isn't the end of the world, actually, because like think of what 2 of the main types that steel types are normally used for, right? They're really good into normal types. They're really good into fairy types, are like 2 of the more common perceptions. I think the only one that steel is usually used for that this team is kind of bad into is dragon types, because that puts a lot of pressure on Mega Eevee.
And or Weezing.
On Weezing, yeah.
But like,
and Weezing is like Weezing obviously great into the physical dragons, bad into the special
in the special attacking. Or honestly, bad into any dragon that has like reasonable coverage, I would say. Because like not initially, but if you're fighting a dragon that has a move that does like 30-40%, and you keep switching in on that move, and yes, you scare it out, but if you're not running Pain Split, which Weezing can't always fit on its set, then it struggles with longevity.
Yeah, that's fair.
However, that being said, Mega Eevee is still pretty fucking amazing in dragon types.
Yeah,
And you also have Delta Auroras, which is one of my... I wish I've had the opportunity to draft that. It's always been sniped before it makes it to me. Yeah. I think that's a fantastic pick for neutral bulk. Honestly, I think this is the best team we've seen in a hot fucking minute. Like,
I also have one big negative. This team hates of... what do you think about? What do you think?
I was thinking it was going to be a type matchup thing, but what you said...
Ghost types.
Yeah.
Ghost. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, actually.
What were you thinking of?
It's one that's going to sound really fucking stupid when I say it out loud. But actually, no, it's easier for me to visualize it if we go to the other one.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to sound really stupid, but I'm going to ask that you hear me out.
Okay.
This team really doesn't love opposing fighting types. And now that I know that sounds stupid at first, but Saralege might not be a ghost type after it terastallizes. It might not be a type that resists fighting. Alakazam is not a fighting resist. Rotom and Weezing are like kind of like the only real fighting type switch-ins, and they're both low tiers. And both of them have flaws. Like I've already met, like the lack of longevity on both of them is probably the biggest one. I feel like a fighting that has the coverage for even just one of those 2, because I don't think this team's ever going to be able to fit both on a paste, is going to cause you severe problems. And especially, it's going to make it really hard to get the Urshifu onto the field, because this team's pivoting options are kind of awkward. Like, Jolteon Volt Switch is obviously amazing. Does Delta Aurorus get flip turn?
Yes.
Aurorus gets flip, yes.
Okay. Then it's not as bad as I thought.
And you technically also have Shifu U-turn, which, I mean, that's actually decent.
Yes, but
and
that's not what I'm referring to.
The fairy coming in, and then
That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to pivots that get Urshifu onto the field.
Okay, yeah. That's
really only the flip turn. Which is really like only the flip turn and Jolteon Volt Switch on teams that like don't have a great ground. Which there are a few teams here that do not have great grounds.
Yeah. I mean, even then, Eevee can still threaten most of the ground.
Yeah, no. Like, I think this team overall is pretty solid. It's definitely the best one we've seen in a minute. It's just like the fighting type thing is only going to matter against specific fighting types. But like just as an example, like the Mega Delta Lopunny, I think is like I think Zeb's Mega Delta Lopunny could cause this team problems because it would mean like that Sarledge is probably gonna have to pack Shadow Sneak, for example. Like, it's a very specific issue, but it is absolutely going to come up.
Okay. Where are we going to put it?
Yeah. Honestly, I think this is a shoe in the playoffs.
I put it like top of could make. I think it is good, but I personally don't feel like it's at the level of the Shuin teams. But if you want to like move up some of the Shuin, like it's definitely top of big could make. Like it's better than most of the could make. So it's like on the border. I could see it
my
like for Shuin.
reasoning is just like I think that the good traits of it are so good that it more than makes up for the shortcomings. But the shortcomings are definitely bigger than the other Shuin teams.
Yeah.
I think we let Necro be the tiebreaker. What do you think?
I think top of Shuin is reasonable.
Yeah. Or bottom of Shuin, you mean?
Or top of could. Top of could.
Okay. I think that's fine for it. I'm fine with that.
Right. Okay, Jiggy.
Yep, moving on.
Alright. Jiggy. I don't like this
team. Weirdest. I don't like. It's really good on paper because like Serp, Arcaluna, and D-Knight, Blaziken, Overquill is like a very good Rancor. Why is the Sunfisk there? Why is the Reggie still there?
I have 3 problems with this. I agree with what you said. I think all the Pokemon that you listed are excellent. I think they should stay. The Trevenant is literally the opposite of what you want on this team.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Have never seen Scout Delta Scrafty actually be useful. I'm going to be blunt. Delta Blaziken... Look, I get that it has a reasonably powerful Hurricane, but you could get better Hurricanes. Delta Magmar, I think, is actually fine. That's like that's a solid.
I don't mind it. It's just a low tier. I don't mind it.
I think it's just like why the fuck is... I feel like looking at this draft, I feel like this wasn't originally supposed to be a rain team. And like something happened in the second round that forced them to repivot into rain.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Jiki has ran rain a lot.
Really? Okay. Then...
Or maybe, no, I might be thinking about it.
It's like the Stunfisk just... Actually, no, it's right next to Wheels, so it's like very unlikely that anything actually would have been sniped.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The only thing...
Why did you pick up the Stunfisk instead of the Mega Delta Typhlosion that was still on the board?
I mean...
I think Jiggy literally just wanted to try out this exact combination.
It's just... Yeah, honestly, from that angle, I respect it. Like, I actually respect the decision. It's just in a vacuum, which is how we're looking at these. It's just not a good decision.
Yeah.
And like the problem I have with this is there's literally 0 Trick Room angle for Fisk. Like, it's fine if it's not on a dedicated Trick Room team, but I feel like with Fisk, you want to have a Trick Room option, and it just does not exist.
Blaziken, maybe?
That is not
It also doesn't actually benefit from rain very much. Yes, it has a strong thunder. Yes, it has a strong thunder, but like that also means that it
has Trick Room plus U-turn.
Okay, to talk about the Stunfisk, yes, it is a powerful thunder. However, I would unironically argue that actually makes it worse, because that makes it worse once the rain ends.
True.
It makes it unreliable. And also, it means you're even worse at taking water type hits. And unlike most rain teams, I actually don't think this team has amazing water resists.
I mean,
it's
that's
only the superior.
Talking down earlier is kind of their main one.
It's like the Magmar or the Scrafty, because it's the Magmar. I would actually say the Magmars and like the Archaludon are probably the best resist.
I mean, Serp doubly resists it, but it kind of just
it's like Serp, Archaludon, and Magmar. It's like Scrafty. They can take the hit, but it's like the Stunfisk gets scared out way easily than it normally would.
Yeah, like making the water weakness worse for Stunfisk and Registeel is not great. Like,
I do think I see the vision with the Registeel, or not the vision as in I think it's a good decision, but I think I see what the intention was. Because I think the intention is Stealth Coal isn't nerfed by the rain, right? So Stealth Coal, it chips the grasses that are like really good into rain. When you don't have a powerful flying type, which like is probably what the Blaziken's also for.
Yeah, it's also just like a generally good Bulkimon, even if like yeah, like obviously you don't use it for water types anyway, but now you just die to any water. But it's still like I don't hate it. It's just weird. It's probably the best way to put it.
I don't think I hate the Delta Registeel on the rain. Like I said, I do see what the stealth.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's like I can see the logic behind the decisions. I just don't agree with very many of them.
Yeah,
and the Delta Trevenant is straight up just a bad pick.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing here.
Yeah,
I can see the intention of maybe wanting it as a low tier fighting, which like I actually don't see why you would need a low tier fighting. You really don't struggle with it.
Technically, I guess it's a low tier fairy more than anything else.
Yeah,
I guess
it's probably fair type.
But like, ironically,
it's the only dragon resist.
Oh.
Unironically, draft the fucking Clefairy if you're gonna get a low tier Clefairy, and the Ivysaur is already gone. Like,
yeah,
is rarely ever worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not using Veil on Trevenant, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think I see the logic behind this team, which is more than I can say for a lot of them.
It's a rain.
Undoubtedly the Rancor will undoubtedly the Rancor will just like destroy stuff.
Like
the team will get wins, but it
will get wins. It will absolutely get wins. But I think the best way that I can describe it is that I have gone on record, not on like literal record, as in like on recording, but like among my friend groups and among you guys, you've heard me say this. I genuinely think that Insurgent's Reign is probably one of the single most powerful archetypes in like any Pokemon format. I genuinely believe that. This is the least effective Insurgent's Reign team that I have ever seen.
Obviously worse, but I can see why,
But like of a division that's supposed to be this high, this is the least effective. And I say least effective and not worst, because like I don't think it's bad. It's just less effective.
Yeah, it's just like I see that I agree. Like this, I see why decisions have been made. I just disagree with those decisions.
Yeah, I honestly. Okay, you might call me fucking crazy for this because we just complained about this team so much. I still think it belongs and could make playoffs.
I was going to put it there, yeah.
It's on like the border of like best of not making or bottom of could make. I agree. Yeah.
I think it still belongs and could make playoffs because it could make playoffs because it's still Insurgent's Reign, even if it is worse Insurgent's Reign.
Yeah, but like with a few small changes, it could honestly almost be like a Center of Heaven with just some small changes, just based on the power of Rain.
Yeah. Just look. If that Stunfisk was a Typhlosion, I think I would think the Registeel pick would actually be really cool. Like, I honestly think that would have been a really neat combo, but it's not a Typhlosion. It's a Stunfisk outside of Trick Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we move on, though, because I think we covered it.
Finally, final team.
Oh, right. I've done it before. Regirock Regice is an excellent defensive pairing. But it's an excellent defensive pairing when you like actually pick offensive mons to pick it to back it up. And what the fuck is the rest of this team doing?
Yeah,
like it's like there are like Terra Hoopa is definitely like a very good offensive mon. Miss Mag is Frostless. I mean, is like pretty good offensively, but Escav like SD can be very scary offensively. But
I think what I will say is this: every Pokemon here is good individually. You drafted good individual mons. There is zero fucking synergy on this team.
That's the biggest
issue.
There's no game plan.
I kind of disagree. I think the problem is more like the game plan is purely defensive, and with the
I would disagree on that. I don't think that this team has a overly defensive game plan because it's really only the Regirock and the Regice that
and Avalugg and Escav to an extent.
Okay, well, first off, the Avalugg should not be on this team. Delta Avalugg is just a worse Delta Regirock in like almost every capacity. Unless
I mean, it's mainly just
removal. Yeah. But like, I feel like most of the team doesn't actually care about hazard. I feel like not having good removal isn't actually that big of a deal for it. Like, they don't have a single rock weakness aside from the Frostlass, which matters pre-mega, but like it usually wants to get its mega off early game anyway. So
yeah,
and like Wailord has boots, but like I don't think that's a huge issue. Like the fear of losing the boots, I don't think it's a huge issue. The Delta Regis are amazing knock absorbers.
Yeah, the big problem for me with this team is just the speed and offense. Like, look at that speed. That's kind of just terrible.
It's awful. It's abysmal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think what this team was trying to do was, like... I feel like there was, like, trying to do a Trick Room game plan here. Maybe, like, a little bit of one.
Kind of.
But, like...
It's kind of just Escav setting for itself, and that's it.
It's like Escav setting for itself, and then, like, Hoopa... If it's a team that has, like, a lot of really fast mons, like, Hoopa can still work under Trick Room, but, like, then the slow defensive mons are faster than you. Which is the opposite of what Delta Hoopa wants. I feel like, essentially, what I have to say for this team is, I like the top 4.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happens after that.
I like Escav still.
I think honestly, I think I wouldn't hate it if they kept a few of the mons. Like, I think keeping the Escav, and honestly, I actually think the Delta Malawada Magic isn't a terrible pick. Because I feel like without that, they would kind of have some... Actually, wait, no, it's a Psychic type, isn't it?
It's Psychic Dark.
The Regi's neutral bulk can still save off most Ghost types. I don't think that's actually a terrible pick. I don't think that's actually a huge problem. I think what I would do is get rid of the Avalugg, get rid of the Bisharp, get rid of the Wailord. We didn't even talk about the Bisharp, but that's because I think the Bisharp isn't worth talking about.
It's an unmon.
The problem is they picked a mono Delta team, and I don't know if there's any like mono or any like Delta mons left to pick
that are worth keeping or worth trading.
Yeah, you committed to the bit, which I respect. I absolutely do respect committing to the bit.
We do respect that. Yeah.
But it bit you in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This team, honestly, I'm gonna be real.
I probably put it there. Like, just probably by the pure bulk, it could win a game, but it's gonna be a struggle getting there.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I think this team is going to hell.
I disagree.
It completely falls apart after the top 3. But like, I can see the argument that the top 3 is so like. The sheer bulk of the Regis like is good. And actually, wait, I have a question. Can we look at the type chart? Can we look at the type chart, please?
Oh no, yeah.
Oh my god, this is...
Yeah.
This is not good. This is really not good.
So yeah, like, they're dragon... Well, okay, Escav is like okay as a dragon.
This team is praying that the Delta Regis can hold up.
Their fairy resistance is mega.
They can. They absolutely can hold up, but they also can be worn down. They can't hold boots. Regirock does not want to hold boots. It usually wants to like a resist berry or a helmet or something. Regice can run boots pretty easily, but then it's vulnerable to Toxic because it's not holding Lumberry.
Also,
this team does not have the ability to prevent the Regis from being worn down. I don't.
Yeah, I also have to say, is there a cleric on this team?
No, unless Delta Hooper or Delta Escav gets heal bell, which they might.
Heal bell? I don't think so.
And even then, I don't think any of them are good clerics.
No.
Like, even if they get it.
I also, so you know how we said the Bishop's not a Pokemon?
Yeah.
The only way that this team is ever dealing with any specially defensive Pokemon is with Toxic Stall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like the S-Hev is not going to do damage until it gets
Simple SD.
the SD off.
Yeah.
Until it gets the SD off, it's not going to do any damage. And if it's going for the SD, it's probably also going to want to get the Trick Room off, right? So it's at least 2 turns of setup. And but in those 2 turns, there is risk of you getting burned. There is a chance that you could get intimidated, which would really severely limit the Mon because it's simple.
Yeah.
There is a chance that you could get taunted so that you can't get your boosts because you're so slow. There is a chance that you could just die to Sludge Bomb because so many like good like defensive Pokemon are poison types. Oh, also, by the way, this team absolutely gets destroyed by Toxic Spikes, in case that's not already obvious.
Okay, that's kind of why you also need Avalok, I guess.
Yeah, and then the
obviously that could also be exchanged for like a Poison Delta.
Yeah.
Or not Poison Delta, Poison specifically. Like, even though like we have to, even though like it is based, it is cool that it is a Delta team. I think we almost have to ignore that when rating it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we absolutely have to ignore it because I'm going to be real. As much as I respect committing to it, as much as I respect committing to the bit, I feel like I don't know. Like I like to treat HBF as a pretty serious league at least, and like committing to a bit like this, you just kind of have to accept that you're shooting your season in the foot.
Pretty much, yeah.
I will say, I just checked. Escav has heal bell, but it's not the best with it.
No,
it's not running it. Honestly, I think that a few changes would fix this team. It would require that you break the bid. Is like the honest answer.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to try staying committed, then like I guess you could maybe extend it to like a custom mega that's not a Delta, but then you have to drop the Frost Blast, which is one of the only good traits of the team. And like, this team is absolutely going to hell. I'm sorry, it's not going to hold up.
Yeah.
If it does, then power to you, but it's not going to be an easy.
I'd still have it in. I'd have it in Might Win a Game, but I can see why you'd have it in Gun.
I would not put it in Might Win a Game because these are Sky players. I know a lot of the Sky players. The Sky players are good enough that they're going to know how to get around this team's very obvious issues.
Yeah. Also, quickly before we go, any changes to? I think we put Max's team in going to Ascending to Heaven.
Yeah, I think that's like the one that really.
I think we also could push because of that. I think we could push Sepile's team up.
I think that's reasonable.
I think I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that.
This I'm pretty happy with.
Just to be clear, the Ascending to Heaven prediction is not necessarily a prediction that he's going to win finals. It's just like it's a prediction that the team could easily make.
The team
to the top
is good enough that it
the main season standings.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I'm satisfied with this ranking. I think this looks.
Any final words?
I think overall there weren't very many teams I would call outright bad.
Yeah,
at worst, a lot of them were just kind of mid. So, and even the mid ones had some pretty clear strengths for the most part.
I don't know if this is just like it just kind of happened with like an 18 pool coach.
It does.
No, I was supposed to say like I don't think that many teams are like explicitly good. But I don't think I agree that most of the teams are just like kind of good. I see.
Insurgence's expanded Pokedex. When you have this many coaches, it's just a thing that's going to happen. It's got to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right. I think we are calling it there. So,
good luck to everyone
watched all of this, thank you for watching. us ramble for 2.5 hours.
Yes, somehow.
And see you for the next 2 divs.
Oh god.